Hello, I'm Mayor Ray Marquez. Welcome to the 2022 State of the City Address. I've enjoyed living in Chino Hills with my family for nearly 40 years and serving on the City Council since 2013. I've always loved living in our beautiful city and being active in our community. Prior to joining the City Council, I've had the opportunity to be part of some major milestones in our city's history, including serving on the Corporation Committee, as well as the City Planning Commission and Parks and Recreation Commission. I'm proud to currently serve and have served alongside some very committed and dedicated people who played a key role in helping Chino Hills become a city and ensuring our continued success.
As many of you know, the city of Chino Hills celebrated its 30th anniversary on December 1st. 30 years is a long time. Chino Hills Mayor Marquez and his wife first fell in love with and raised their family in is very similar to the Chino Hills we all know and love today. When you drive through Chino Hills, you can still see 3,000 acres of open space and signature green rolling hills. Still walk down our city's core equestrian community on English Road and be greeted by the horses and cattle grazing the hills, and still feel the rural, small-town, family-friendly sense of community. The city is known for the passion of its residents. It is through the partnership that our city's leaders have with residents that we have been able to preserve and build upon everything that makes Chino Hills great. This year, we reflect on the year behind us and the nonstop work council members, city leaders, staff, and partners do to continue framing our future. Let's tune in to 2022. While the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic remained a challenge for cities throughout the nation, our city chose to meet those challenges head-on through coordination and partnerships with local agencies. We work together to provide residents with ongoing opportunities for COVID testing events, rapid test kit distributions, flu and COVID vaccination clinics, and blood drives. We continued to support our local businesses and made additional funding received from the CARES Act available to businesses through grant programs.
My fellow council members and I met with our struggling businesses as they worked to return to pre-pandemic business operations and hand-delivered checks up to $10,000 in grant money that did not need to be repaid. Our vibrant local business community continued to strive, and our city council was happy to attend local grand openings to personally welcome businesses to the neighborhood.
We were excited to welcome Silver Lake Ramen, Urban Fish Taco, Yoga 6, and Press Juicery to the shops. September's Tap Room and Eatery joined the Santa Barbara Center, and O'Reilly Auto Parts and I&I Brewery will soon be joining the Chino Hills Shopping Center next to Grocery Outlet.
The pandemic may have kept us apart in the beginning, but one thing was clear. We are a community that is stronger together. In 2021 saw the return of our community's most favorite events, as well as some new ones, and brought the community back together.
Families came out in full force to enjoy the city's signature summer events at their home locations. Concerts in the park returned to Veterans Park. Movies in the park returned to the lawn at the community center.
Chino Hills is known for many great things. Our family-friendly feel is something we've always taken pride in. We were eager to see the return of our in-person events as soon as it was safe to do so. It was great to see everyone's smiling faces as we welcomed back our city's special events with the annual Independence Day celebration.
From there, our recreation staff was in full force to ensure our residents experience the high-quality events they look forward to annually. Trick or Treat returned to the shops, and the holiday season was welcomed in true Chino Hills fashion as snow fell in front of City Hall, and Santa helped us light the tree during the annual tree lighting ceremony. Boats once again lit up the streets of Chino Hills during the city's beloved tradition of the Chino Hills Boat Parade.
For the first time ever, last year we welcomed families to a community celebration at the McCoy Equestrian and Recreation Center to recognize the very generous gift from Mrs. Helen McCoy on what would have been her 110th birthday, and mark the city's purchase of this historic facility for $1.
This celebration kicked off a series of meetings. The staff met one-on-one with homeowners along English Road to see how we can better preserve our city's equestrian heritage, and held a community meeting so residents could learn more about the facility, available amenities, and provide input. That wasn't the only first we were celebrating this year. In November, paddles were out in full swing as we celebrated the grand opening of our 4 new pickleball courts at Villano Park. We first started talking about the idea of adding pickleball courts to our city nearly 4 years ago, when residents Steve Zalai and Mike Orduno attended our Parks and Recreation Commission meetings to speak in support of bringing this sport to our community. Hearing the desire loud and clear, our council, commission, and city staff began the process to bring this from an idea to reality. We worked with Steve and Mike to design the layouts of the courts and invested nearly $37,000 into the pickleball conversion project to enhance the available park amenities for residents to enjoy. We also held a special ceremony during our annual Salute to Service Veterans event to dedicate the new flagpole that stands proudly next to the Military Service Monument at the Chino Hills Community Center. The flagpole was funded by a generous $11,000 donation from the Chino Hills 55 Plus Club. Thanks to their continued efforts, the flagpole and Military Service Monument serve as a permanent reminder of the service and sacrifice of those who served our great nation.
In Chino Hills, we are proud to have 44 parks for families to play, gather, and create memories. We always strive to look for ways to enhance our city's quality of life and provide amenities everyone can enjoy. We're excited to welcome the city's first inclusive playground this year with the help of generous donations from the Chino Hills Community Foundation and the Howard and Nikki Applebaum Foundation.
The existing 20-year-old playground equipment at Crossroads Park will be replaced with equipment that allows people of all abilities and development stages to come and play together.
That's not all there is to look forward to next year. We received just under $10 million in coronavirus recovery funds under the American Rescue Plan. We will use the money to invest in infrastructure projects that enhance our community's experience, quality of life, and promote the use of public spaces.
The foundation also committed $100,000 towards the purchases of a new community mobile show wagon, which is our Concerts in the Park stage, and a new mobile recreation vehicle. We are still working to secure the additional funding needed to supplement these donations. Improvements in our parks and public spaces are only the beginning. This year, we also looked for ways to enhance communication with our residents. With the help of additional funding received from the CARES Act, we installed the city's first LED marquee along Peyton Drive in front of the community center. The sign will help us stay connected with residents and share upcoming events, health, safety, and emergency messages, and more.
If you could describe Chino Hills with a few words, what would they be? Beauty, family, diversity? Those are just a few that come to mind. We are proud of the scenic charm and talent within our city, and this year we decided to highlight that even more.
10 new banners hang proudly between City Hall and the Police Department as a reflection of what we value most in our beautiful community. Many of the photos were taken by Chino Hills residents.
Beauty sure is something to be celebrated in our city. Many residents say they chose Chino Hills for its environment. In addition to our parks, trails, and landscaping, we take pride in our streets and ensure they are always well maintained. On top of completing over $1.35 million in paving projects to nearly improve 10 miles of streets throughout our city, we continue to invest in our Los Serranos community.
Our Safe Routes to School East project was completed in April 2022 and funded close to $1 million towards delivering much-needed sidewalk and curb enhancements so students can walk safely to school.
Did you know that Chino Hills is home for over 47,000 trees? In 2019, we began a multi-year project to preserve and protect the open space and health of our urban forests. With the help of grants from the California Natural Resources Agency, we completed the Strickling Nature Park Tree Removal and Planting Project.
Over 170 dead and declining trees were removed, and with some assistance from our Chino Valley Young Marines, we planted 200 new native trees. Thanks to another grant received for $317,000, we will soon be able to make the same enhancements to Eucalyptus Nature Park.
Not only was our staff busy maintaining roads, creating new amenities, and beautifying our city, but our staff behind the scenes was also just as busy serving you as well. Our IT division is always looking for ways to enhance communication between the city and our community and promote collaboration between departments both inside and outside the office.
With the help of our IT team, Our finance department introduced a new utility bill pay system that improved the customer experience and offered more convenient online payment methods.
Working with our community services department, IT also created a dedicated online interactive trails map that allows residents another way to easily explore the city's 48 miles of trails. Users can see all trailheads, trail connections, and pinpoint exact locations of each trail and see what city parks and facilities are nearby.
This new website feature enhances the work already completed by the Community Relations Division on the website and the city app. We made key investments to upgrade our equipment, which provided our staff with remote access to our city's infrastructure, helping save time and resources. We began the first phase of installing a new supervisor control and data acquisition system that allows us to digitally control different sites and systems in our city's water facilities to get real-time readings and access water and sewer pumps remotely. Our GIS mapping system was also enhanced to include our water and sewer master plans, showing key locations like water meters that will better assist field staff and future generations of city employees.
After the Blue Ridge Fire in 2020, our community learned some important lessons. Staff was busy in the office ensuring we would be well equipped to handle any or next challenges that may come our way. The city and the Chino Valley Fire District completed the property transfer agreement for the future development of the city's 4th fire station at the intersection of Sokol Canyon Parkway and Pipeline Avenue.
The city provided just under 4 acres of land and will pay a total of $8 million to construct and equip the new facility. In return, the city received the former Chino Valley Fire Training Facility on Eucalyptus Avenue. Chino Valley Fire District will also be assuming the cost and responsibilities of all wildfire protection the city normally contracts with CAL FIRE to perform, saving the city an average of $150,000 a year. The construction of the new fire station is expected to be completed in early 2024. As we saw with the Blue Ridge Fire, when the fire reached the exact location of where this new fire station will be constructed, every second counts during an emergency. So we continue to look for ways to enhance our fire preparedness efforts.
Our council members in Chino Valley Fire District worked with our legislative leaders, Congresswoman Kim and Senators Feinstein and Padilla, to secure over $500,000 to support the city's fuel reduction program that will reduce the potential for wildfires in our community.
While our community enjoys an enhanced quality of life through the preservation of over 3,000 acres of open space in our city, wildfires are always a concern.
Our residents' safety, health, and in many cases lives depend on our ability to protect them from the destruction of wildfires in our community. The funding allows us to enhance our citywide fuel reduction project by supplementing our annual weed abatement efforts with a program that enlarges defensible space and removes dead and declining plant material in the landscaped and open buffer zones. Ultimately, these efforts strengthen our defense against wildfires by removing overgrown vegetation that can serve as fuel between our homes and open space hillsides.
We are always looking for ways to enhance our preparedness efforts. This year, we significantly increased our training program and organized a multi-agency training academy to ensure our staff is always ready at the highest level to respond to any fires, earthquakes, or hazards that may come our way.
We are very proud of our police department and fire district. Both of our public safety agencies continuously step up to meet the needs of our community. Our residents are safeguarded by dedicated police and fire personnel who are committed to delivering the best protection and care to our community.
This year, a number of private ambulance services across the nation face staffing shortages due to the ongoing pandemic. The district identified this problem early and took immediate action to ensure our community would not be negatively impacted or experience longer wait times when in need of emergency paramedic services. Chino Valley Fire purchased 4 ambulances and staffed 2 of them full-time to ensure ambulance resources are available and able to respond quickly. It's our commitment to ensure our residents know they're always in great hands. We are grateful that Chino Hills is a very engaged community.
The Chino Hills Police Department makes it a priority to listen to community concerns and respond. At the Quality of Life meetings last year, residents voiced concerns related to traffic and theft. In response to these concerns, the police department increased their traffic division by 150% and conducted targeted enforcement to high collision areas. Due to more people staying and working from home during COVID and more cars being parked in the driveways for all hours of the day, vehicular burglary concerns were heightened. By using the city's automated license plate reader system, proactive patrol, and a dedicated task force, our police department decreased vehicle and commercial burglaries by over 20% each. Our investment in the city's ALPR system continues to aid our deputies and benefit our community. These cameras automatically capture license plate numbers for everyone who is traveling in and out of Chino Hills and alert police if stolen vehicles or suspects of criminal investigations are in the area. Over the last year, these cameras have helped our police department solve over 50 crimes and resulted in the recovery of 25 stolen vehicles. The citywide ALPR system will soon be enhanced by the purchase of an additional camera that will be placed on city property in Carbon Canyon to enhance coverage throughout Chino Hills. Chino Hills, like other communities across Southern California, has experienced an increase in catalytic converter thefts, so our police department coordinated a catalytic converter etching event with a local auto shop to help deter thefts and aid in investigations. The city has also begun the process of etching catalytic converters within our own city vehicles and installing additional anti-theft measures as an added layer of protection. We also collaborated with the department to host our first ever series of women's personal safety and awareness workshops. These workshops are crucial to equip the women in our community with the skills and knowledge they need to protect themselves and prevent them from becoming a victim.
Our Chino Hills Police Department had significant investigative achievements this past year. As a few examples, they identified a burglary ring and arrested numerous suspects responsible for over 20 burglaries in Chino Hills and in several other cities across Southern California. In another case, they arrested a group of suspects from Los Angeles County responsible for stealing approximately $400,000 in jewelry from a Chino Hills business. This same group of suspects were also responsible for 3 additional armed robberies in neighboring cities.
Even with all their busy investigative work, our police department always finds the time to be involved members of our community. 2022 was an integral year in continuing to frame our city's future. Many of the projects we completed this year build upon the early vision set forth by our founding fathers, which maintains a strong foundation to ensure continued success.
In 2017, the City Council transitioned from at-large voting to district-based voting and held the first district-based election in 2018. Every 10 years, local governments use the new census data to redraw their district lines to reflect how local populations have changed. Redistricting determines which neighborhoods and communities are grouped together for the purposes of electing City Council members.
To hear from our community, we held a series of public hearings and a workshop where residents could share suggestions to district boundaries as well as draw and submit their own maps. Elections for Council Districts 1, 2, and 4, held by Council members Marquez, Rogers, and Joes, will be held on November 8th. Current Council members Bennett and Moran, who reside in Districts 3 and 5, will represent their districts until the next election in November 2024.
We are also in the process of updating the city's general plan to continue to shape the community's vision for the future. The general plan is the city's blueprint for development, and from time to time, it's necessary to update the general plan to respond to changes, including changes in state law, the region, and residents' lifestyles, while still maintaining the city's vision. Since its incorporation, Chino Hills has envisioned itself as a community with high quality of life amid its hillsides and open spaces. The general plan update will focus on that vision while meeting the challenges of today.
Every California city must adopt a comprehensive long-term general plan. The general plan must cover a local jurisdiction's entire planning area and address the broad range of issues associated with the city's development. We completed the first step of this and submitted the updated state-mandated housing element this year, which accommodated the city's Regional Housing Needs Assessment, or RHNA, allocation as required by the state. As a result of the required compliance with the RHNA allocation and the housing boom and attractive market, you may have noticed or soon will see new housing projects in Chino Hills. The community can rest assured Chino Hills has a long-standing dedication and commitment in ensuring thoughtful development that preserves our open space and protects our ridgelines. Our council and city officials hear the concerns of our community and feel the same way residents do. We know the green rolling hills and over 3,000 acres of open space are defining features here.
Since the time of the city's incorporation, Chino Hills has developed consistent with our original specific plan and has only added housing as required by state mandates. Often the possible new developments you are hearing about were previously approved and planned.
The city cannot control when projects move forward, and property owners have a legal right to develop their property and on the timeline they choose. We try to address this concern shared by our council members, city leaders, and a majority of our community by supporting an initiative that would work to restore local control over land use and zoning matters. If passed, it would have allowed our city to determine what land use best meets the needs of our community. Unfortunately, the initiative did not receive enough signatures to be placed on the ballot for this year. However, you can expect to hear more about this in the next 2 years. As the city approaches build-out, the southern end of Chino Hills continues to see the remaining residential and commercial development. Rancho Cielito will be a new gated multifamily complex in a unique location adjacent to Lake Los Serranos. The new 354-unit community will feature elevators to ensure some units are accessible to elderly and young families alike, as well as walking trails, recreation areas, and clubhouses. Continuing to move south, a new 119-room Holiday Inn Express broke ground last year and is expected to open this fall. Adjacent to the hotel is an over 3-story, 31,000-square-foot Providence Medical Foundation building. Providence previously merged with St. Joseph Health to become the third-largest healthcare provider in the United States. The building includes primary care and pediatric services, urgent care, and will soon offer dermatology and OB/GYN services, thus providing community access to health care. And on the north side of Chino Hills, the Crossroads Marketplace Center will soon see some changes. Costco plans to relocate and expand its gas station and to reconfigure the queuing and parking area for better circulation. They will also expand the warehouse building to add additional food service and sales areas.
Our commitment to doing our part to preserve our open space goes hand in hand with preserving our planet. In 2019, we formed the Tres Hermanos Conservation Authority.
We continue to work with our partner cities of Diamond Bar and Industry to protect the beautiful and serene 2,450-acre Tres Hermanos Ranch as we explore the best use for this property. We selected a logo representing the partnership and meet regularly to collaborate on maintenance and overall ownership needs of the land. The Tres Hermanos Board approved an agreement with our very own Chino Hills Red Bucket Equine Rescue to mitigate fire damage by allowing horses to graze on the property and clear the land of weeds. The agreement will be effective July 1st.
A topic that always needs our attention is the city's water conservation efforts. Chino Hills customers have done a great job at becoming more water efficient. Our city was recently recognized with the Chino Basin Landscape Consultation Award for our residents' participation in having the most consultations to design more water-wise landscaping per capita last year.
Great job, Chino Hills! With intensifying drought and record-breaking temperatures last year, it is important we continue to do all we can to conserve our most precious natural resource. The state is calling for an overall 20 to 30% reduction in water usage across California. As a result, the City Council approved moving to a Stage 3 high water conservation alert, where residents will only be allowed to water outdoors 2 days a week, effective June 1st.
In another move to protect our environment this year, the state of California is requiring cities and counties to provide organic waste collection services to all residents and businesses and recycle these organic materials under California Senate Bill 1383.
This bill sets goals to reduce the disposal of organic waste in landfills, which includes food and landscaping waste items to reduce greenhouse gas emissions such as methane and address food insecurity in California. One part of this law requires residents to start separating their food waste, just as most already separate their yard waste. And city governments, along with their contracted trash haulers, are required to put a system in place to collect and reduce the amount of organic waste that ends up in our landfills.
Our contract with our current solid waste provider was up this year, so we underwent an extensive process to select a new waste and recycling service provider to deliver the highest quality service to our residents.
Waste Management will be the city's new solid waste provider beginning on July 1st and will assist us with ensuring our city is in compliance with these new laws. Together, we will be providing education and outreach on the new organics recycling and ensure a smooth transition and resident experience from our current trash hauling. And don't worry, we know how much of an inconvenience the waste and recycling work stoppage was last year for our community. So we made sure the new contract included a contingency plan demonstrating how service would continue in the result of a work stoppage.
Despite navigating growth and development over the last 30 years and an unprecedented pandemic, the city's budget remains in good shape, and we continue to maintain our healthy reserves. This is with thanks to our previous and current City Council's conservative fiscal approach. Much of our revenue is restricted and must be spent for specific purposes such as water, sewer, and landscaping. General city services, including law enforcement, are paid for through the general fund.
$36.6 million of the city's general fund reserves is unrestricted and serves as a savings account or a rainy day fund to tap into if large unforeseen projects come up or if unplanned repairs and circumstances arise. Our rainy day fund represents 78% of our general fund expenditures, well above the 15 to 20% that many consider a healthy level.
As you just saw when you tuned in to 2022, Chino Hills is a community defined by resilience and pride we take in our city. On behalf of the Chino Hills City Council, thank you to every single resident, business owner, and neighbor who contributed and bettered our community in every way.
Here's to another successful 30 years, building upon our city's strong foundation as one of the most desired places to live, work, shop, and dine, and fine-tuning the great community we call home. The leadership demonstrated by every City Council member has provided a strong foundation for future Chino Hills success and ensures we have a vibrant future full of color.